This ViewFinder episode is supported by UC Davis Health, where doctors, nurses, researchers, and staff share a passion for advancing health. Learn more about their latest medical innovations at health.ucdavis.edu.
Baby Boomer Bucket List. I'm Jennifer Whitney, and this boomer is getting a tattoo. Sky's the limit for baby boomers, all 75 million of us. Medical breakthroughs.
Cataract surgery is the most commonly performed operation in the United States and in the world.
And boomers are living longer, healthier lives. Baby boomers are boxing.
Forever young, that's the goal.
Boomers are rocking to old music and reinvigorating romance.
So what are we doing today?
I don't know, because I've never done this before.
We're redefining aging.
Just the forever.
Just the forever with the squiggly line.
Yeah.
Boomers are bent on staying forever young.
All right, well, I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna do a little bitty line, let you feel it.
It's just annoying. It's not painful, it's just irritating. Irritating and annoying and painful. Okay, why is that part so sensitive?
It is closer to the bone.
Jeez, oh, yeah, it is.
I'm seeing the baby boomer generation coming in, getting a lot of really, really interesting pieces, pieces I'd never thought I'd see or I'd do on that generation.
I love it.
Boomers were born after World War II between 1946 and 1964. Growing up, we protested, rocked out, and busted through glass ceilings. Boomers, the me generation, want it all, and we've got bucket lists. But fulfilling our bucket lists can be threatened by a variety of age-related diseases.
EKG to the lobby, please. EKG to the lobby.
AFib, or atrial fibrillation, is an irregular heart rate that commonly sends boomers to the ER.
AFib happens to be the most common arrhythmia worldwide, and it affects about 6 million Americans. It significantly increases the risk of stroke by about at least a factor of 5 times. It promotes clot formation, so blood clot can form inside the heart, which can dislodge. And if it were to dislodge, unfortunately, it invariably ends up in the brain, and that can cause a major stroke in patients.
Aziza Davis-Goins felt a strange sensation while at work on the East Coast.
Something was going on in my chest and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I went to the doctor and found out that I was in AFib. They rushed me out of the emergency room and they gave me all kinds of medication, and I was in the hospital for about 5 days. And I left there and literally flew home in AFib and got home and was rushed back into the hospital, and that's when I met Dr. Ariana.
And as a result of the aging patient population and the baby boomers especially, we are seeing essentially a major rise in diagnosis and incidence of the problem.
AFib interferes with blood flow. Blood can pool and lead to clots.
Dr. Ariana finally said, we need to do what's called an ablation.
Dr. Arash Ariana is a cardiac electrophysiologist.
We can be best described as being the electricians of the heart.
The procedure is state-of-the-art robotic surgery.
We're moving the mapping catheter all around the heart.
The catheter has an electrode at the tip and is inserted through a blood vessel in the groin. It senses the heart's electrical signals.
We call this catheter the lasso catheter. As you can see, it looks like a lasso, and we can advance it into the different structures inside the heart. This map is then used to guide the ablation.
The doctor creates ablation lesions at troubled spots using high-frequency energy.
Ablating, there we go.
Recent catheter ablation studies have shown very sort of promising outcomes in the range of 70–80% even in some cases of freedom from atrial fibrillation in the long run.
And I had that done in February of this year, and my heart's been fine ever since.
AFib symptoms include racing heart, palpitations, shortness of breath, and dizziness.
Perfect.
My lifestyle is active, and with the AFib and atrial flutter, you're your energy's down.
Genetics can play a factor, we now know, but lifestyle can also do the same. Things like high blood pressure, diabetes, caffeine especially can cause a trigger. Alcohol has been also linked directly to this disease process, so by changing the lifestyle and improving it, if you would, you can do a lot of good for yourself.
Medicine is used to treat AFib. William Defazio had an ablation procedure for his. He's also identified lifestyle triggers that may cause it.
Those seem to crop up with fatigue or maybe a little stress, not having enough sleep particularly.
Stress is not our friend. You know, oftentimes when you're at a certain age, my age, you think that you feel the same as you did 10, 15 years ago. In your mind, your brain feels that, but the rest of your body, the parts are wearing.
You know, I love what I do. I really honestly couldn't see myself doing anything but what I do. Being able to see patients who have done well from the procedures, have gotten rid of their problem, being able to come off of medications.
I'm so eternally grateful to him.
Once again healthy, Aziza is still that 67-year-old flower child.
I pursued my passion, absolutely. Retirement account, that's funny. From the time I was about 13 years old, I kind of knew what I would be doing for the rest of my life. Nonprofit and association management has always been a part of who I am.
Aziza loves running Sacramento's Black Chamber of Commerce. Either because they want to or they need to, 25% of boomers will work until the age of 70. Top of her bucket list? Traveling.
My favorite place on the planet is East Africa. I've spent a lot of time in Tanzania and Zanzibar, Kenya, and this year I added Rwanda to the trip, which was just an amazing country.
Glenn Pomeroy's bucket list includes a blast from the past.
Many years ago when I was a kid, my dad bought my brother and I a pair of boxing gloves, and we'd go down to the basement and flail away at each other, but not really knowing what we were doing.
At 61, this baby boomer's put the boxing gloves back on.
What I like about boxing is it's tiring. It's a huge cardio workout, but it has an additional element of sort of being coached and constantly striving to get better under someone's watchful eye, who reminds me of being in high school on a football team again.
Glenn's coach is a 27-year-old millennial. Steve Rapadas is a professional boxer.
This is for every age. I wouldn't say from any age. I say 5 to 100. You know, I've trained a lot of different ages.
Glenn regularly spars with the Golden Glove champ.
I think it's helped me sort of keeping in condition as I'm getting a little older. My goal is to become a better boxer, which requires me to try to stay in shape. Our concept of aging has changed over time. I think our awareness of taking better care of ourselves has changed too, from what we eat to the way we exercise. I tell everybody that boxing allows me to feel younger.
It gets a lot of stress out, just releases it.
63-year-old Deanne Owsley also boxes.
Perfect. Love it. Get jazzed every time I put these on.
It's a workout. It's really a workout. And within probably 5 or 10 minutes, a lot of people, including me, are dripping sweat.
Her trainer is a millennial too.
She is quick to text versus call, just as like I would. So we have a lot of similarities.
Deanne has learned how to roll with the punches.
Unexpected shifts. I lost a job. I was laid off from a job that I had for 30 years, unexpectedly laid off. I have a son who, when he was 18 months old, was diagnosed with autism. That was a big shift. And the latest one is I had a 20-year marriage that fell apart.
Deanne works full-time and is now a single mom.
So I'm not exactly where I thought I would be at this point in my life, but that's part of life. You pick up and go boxing.
Boxing helped Deanne heal her broken heart. Divorce has doubled the past 25 years for people in their 50s and tripled for boomers 65 and older. They often bail because they say life is too short to be unhappy.
My son is Dimitri. Today he's 18 years old, and he is a sweet boy.
Please put the clean dishes away.
He is a caring, loving, 6'4" young man with autism.
Dimitri. I like your whistling. And I love that smile. Oh, what a sweet boy you are. I love you very much. Thank you for my such a good boy. Buddy, I love that singing.
Deanne is part of the sandwich generation. She's sandwiched between a child living at home while watching out for an older parent.
How are you?
Hi, Denise. Hi. Kiss. Thank you.
I have a mom who is in her mid-80s. Luckily, she's doing well. And then I have my son who has autism, so I have somebody I will be taking care of probably for the rest of my life. Today, life is good. And I'm thankful for the family I have around me. I'm so thankful for the love of boxing that I've developed. And really, I'm thankful for my health. All of that helps me, at least, and baby boomers in general, I think, be able to look at what we hope are our golden years as, as good ones ahead. They're still ahead. I'm not there yet.
The sandwich generation represents about 25% of the population, me included.
So it's this time in my life right now is different because it's busy in a different way than what it used to be, because I want to make sure that mom's okay. I work and still have a household to make sure everything's running smoothly. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah, there is. But you show up every day, and it's tremendous for me. Tremendous.
Actually, you have a doctor's appointment on Monday. The easiest way to manage my mom's health care is to do it online, making appointments, ordering medications, any questions that we might have.
That allows more time for us to be together.
And it always amazes me what memories I log into.
Mm-hmm.
There are things I haven't thought of for years. But when I'm talking to you, I want to tell you things that suddenly pop into my head that it's wonderful.
Smiles and technology are guiding boomers into the future.
Being able to do this makes my life so much easier.
The investment in a small amount of technology can result in wonderful changes in health.
Heather Young is Dean of the Betty Irene Moore School of Nursing at UC Davis. She oversees cutting-edge research empowering boomers living with type 2 diabetes.
Well, I was called in as a patient advisor. They wanted to get some patients who had diabetes to test these health monitoring devices.
Yeah, type 2 diabetes is increasingly common among baby boomers. It's something that's on the rise, and it's something that is preventable and also manageable. What's groundbreaking about our work is that we're taking the data that people are collecting on themselves and using that data in a conversation to explore the goals that the person has for their health. In particular, the activity tracker helps you to keep track of how far you're walking every day, how much activity you have. The problem with diabetes is that if it goes on unchecked and uncontrolled, it can lead to some really serious health problems like kidney failure, problems with vision.
Diet and exercise are critical in managing diabetes.
I thought I was getting more exercise than I really was. Well, after I got the new device and actually got to monitor my steps, I found out I was getting half that. It'll start vibrating and I'll look down at it and it just says one word, move. So it monitors my heart rates, so I keep an eye on that. It also monitors my sleep.
And what we use that data for is we import it actually into the electronic health record, where we can actually see on a dashboard patterns that people have in their activity.
I'm very glad you're doing well with the device. Keep up the great work.
And you can actually see very tangibly that when people are more active, their blood pressure improves, their blood glucose improves, and some of those clinical labs will look better and different.
Diabetes, cancer. Life is hard, yet boomers still want to feel good about themselves.
I've had breast cancer twice, A few years ago, I lost my husband. I had wrinkles, I had a sad face from a lot of hard times. And so this has kind of given me a fresh start. It's nice.
Nearly 60, Kristen had breast reconstruction done by surgeon Dr. Charles Perry. Then she had a facelift.
I'm a teacher. I train real estate agents. So I'm with people all day long. And I didn't like that my face reflected this older, wrinkly person, because that's not who I am inside.
Keeping the dreaded signs of aging at bay, I hopped into the chair to give it a try. Will I look 20?
I don't know about 20. Maybe
30?
30? Yeah, there we go.
30.
Be really realistic, you know. I notice there's a little bit of looseness here, and it might look real nice if we tighten that skin up just a little bit right there.
Did he just say I have looseness in my face?
A little looseness of the skin around the cheeks.
Looseness
there.
of the skin around the cheeks.
Yeah. And so, as a child, I had an accident. I lost my right eye, and I have always felt a little bit different than others, and appearance-wise. And so I really related to people who lost something or felt like their appearance wasn't quite what they felt like it should be internally. The skin thins, and so we're just trying to thicken that in a way that's not noticeable in the lips, around the eyes, around the eyebrows, and then softening some of the muscles.
It's good. No, it's all good, right? Let's get this stuff off my belly. Cool sculpting is new, essentially suctioning and freezing fat away. I went for that one too.
And there we go. So you
sure that's healthy?
So you can see, I don't know if you can see, but you can see the fat sect. Yeah, how are you comfortable?
It's like a big slug has just gotten hold of my belly. All of this just feels weird. One session lasts about an hour, and they say you may need a couple to get the results you want.
Yes.
Stand by for my face and belly results later on. Meanwhile, eye surgery and sunscreen have Mike Woodring feeling like he's 61 going on 22.
My eyes, everything was sunk. Lots of years of tobacco, smoked cigars, did a lot of golfing. I more or less did a number on my face.
Mike wants to continue working, but felt he looked unhealthy.
Look, I had a positive outlook to a certain extent, but after what's been done for me, you know, the world is my oyster, as they say.
Mike and Kristen met here in the doctor's office. Mike's a little enamored.
I can't stop noticing her, yes. I want to explore, I want to get to know somebody. It's not so much a physical thing, but it's also an emotional. And again, when you reach my age, you learn. When I was younger, I wasn't so savvy.
You can rekindle that flame, and it might look different than it did in your 20s, but still really special.
Boomers working longer, kids, grandkids, and often romance goes by the wayside.
Foreplay helps us really create our sexual bond. And foreplay is everything from deep conversations to like holding hands, taking walks together, all the way up to the bedroom and having intimacy in the bedroom. So the fact that baby boomers were so sexually explorative in their early adult years, it really has a positive impact as they get older because they usually are more open-minded in talking about sex and being able to have those conversations with their partners. When Viagra came onto the scene, that was very encouraging for a lot of couples because erectile dysfunction problems are very common as we get older. And this gave a way to face those challenges and still create an active sex life.
Many of my patients request medications like Viagra. And for the most part, that is a discussion you have to have with your physician. There are a few medical reasons not to take it, but for the most part, this is not a taboo subject at all.
Doctors say sex is good for you, that it boosts the immune system, reduces stress, even helps you sleep.
Physicians have really sort of adopted the attitude that all of us are going to be living longer, so it's really about emphasizing health and prevention so that we age gracefully. You know, women should be getting their mammograms on a regular basis. We should also be doing colon cancer screening. Smoking. We should do everything that we can to quit smoking.
And during flu season,
the most important thing is about getting your flu shot.
I don't like the flu. My body doesn't handle the flu well.
Imagine not having your flu shot because you can't see to get there. Eye health.
So right around the late 40s or so, a condition called presbyopia ensues, and presby means old, and opia means eyes. So that's an inability of the eye to focus because the tissue in the lens becomes stiffer.
That's when we need glasses. Cute ones. Eye checkups are recommended every 2 years until 65. After that, annually.
So I'm pretty sure I have a cataract in my left eye.
Visual problems are extremely common and often ignored because it doesn't really hurt. Cataract prevalence is approximately 40% in the population over 65.
I don't really think about my age. In fact, sometimes when I'm reminded, and once in a while a doctor will tell me that, you know, this is so-and-so because you're aging. And I think, you know, that's really rude. I'm not old.
Right eye laser cataract.
Yeah, cataract surgery is the most commonly performed operation in the United States and in the world. Hi, Juliana. Dr. Jones up here. I'm going to get you nice and comfortable here. So, Juliana, this is the device that's going to be using a cool laser beam to sculpt your eye.
A new study out shows cataract surgery may actually prolong life and results in a 60% lower death rate by reducing accidents, cancer, and other diseases.
Cataract surgery has a safety rate of well over 99% for good outcomes. You can see there's no stitches here. Back in the old days, we had to put about 12 different stitches in people's eyes. Thanks to the advantages of technology, which involves using advanced instrumentation and also using laser technology, we can offer our patients much better outcomes, more precise focusing afterwards. In many cases, people who come in who wear glasses oftentimes walk out without glasses.
And once they did the surgery, I couldn't wear the glasses anymore because I couldn't see with them. So I have to take the glasses off.
Lincoln Tremble is one of millions of people now seeing through new eyes. And off with Harley he goes.
Well, you know, vision is vitality and vivacity. So without vision, you lose some of the sparkle to life.
You don't want to have tunnel vision around thinking about people just based on their age.
Boomers alone are not redefining aging. Millennials are in there too. We box together, work on tattoos together. The millennial assisted with my makeover, and they're our neighbors.
So welcome to my home. I live in the Bridge District neighborhood of West Sacramento. It's one of the new areas, formerly industrial, right on the riverfront. Some of my neighbors have been retired for years, but wanted to be right next to the thick of things. And some of my neighbors are millennials who were able to get a place that feels like it's the future.
West Sacramento and Mayor Christopher Coppedge are participating in an innovative study with the World Health Organization and AARP. It's about age friendliness.
What seniors and what millennials wanted were the same thing, and they could only get it if they were both there. And this district is a great example of that. A lot of what millennials wanted in a place required people with some income from their prior careers to help get it started and to support the arts and other kinds of activities. And the kinds of walkable, lively but comfortable places that a lot of seniors wanted, that were near things and had interesting places to be, needed millennials to take a chance and to create them. And I think this is a fantastic opportunity to experience the diversity in real time.
Age diversity is playing out in real time. That tattoo I got from a millennial, it's from this note my mom wrote me that I've always kept.
You did a great job.
Even kept where any kind of squiggles she had.
Yes. Oh my God.
Because you wanted to feel like she wrote on there.
This love will last forever. I have the tattoo, cosmetic procedures, bucket lists. After the trip to the plastic surgeon, belly's a little tighter, no more bruising. I'm refreshed, as they say.
Almost ready to go party. We may go to bed earlier, but boomers like to play.
It's almost like time stopped, and you see them and you realize what happened to all that time, but the personalities are still very, very vivid.
People can get together, do some things they were doing, 50 or so years ago, and do it in a different time zone.
Sal Valentino, lead singer of the 60s band The Beau Brummels, had the East Sac Baby Boomers meet-up group rockin' and rollin'. Boomers started turning 65 in 2011. That evolution continues for 19 years, and we're still saving the world. We're wiser and now a motherload of fundraising.
We've raised about $20,000 this year for the American Cancer Society's Road to Recovery program, and we're looking at other charities as well to raise money for.
As if no time had passed, Laugh Laugh was a hit once again. One thing's for sure, we are a generation of heart and soul.
Everything is different now. We're the last of the kind.
This ViewFinder episode is supported by UC Davis Health, where doctors, nurses, researchers, and staff share a passion for advancing health. Learn more about their latest medical innovations at health.ucdavis.edu.